I'm going to show you how to get your peace, your sanity, your time back, and deliver a great service so you can get a 5-star review every time, and the entire time having a great transaction along the way. One of the first pain points that buyer agents have is that they get a buyer lead and the agent is pumped. They just assume that they're going to close it, that they're going to work together, that client is actually ready, willing, and able to buy a home. And they mistakenly assume that a lead equals a commission check. And that is not the case. If you've been in the industry long enough, you know that. So the agent will go above and beyond. Like,
I want to just shower them with service. I want to go above and beyond.
You know what? I'll even bend my rules a little bit because why not? They get excited. So they start showing them homes. Hopefully at that point they have the buyer broker agreement because otherwise that's illegal. Please ask your brokerage. But they'll have phone calls. Maybe they'll meet up in person. You'll drive across the city to meet them where they're at. You schedule showings. They can only show during this time. So you adjust your schedule and you're the one providing more flexibility. And then all of a sudden you start getting ghosted. The clients are taking longer to respond to you. And then when you check in, they're like, oh yeah, we ended up purchasing with someone else. Or in some other cases, they just start asking you to do things that is not within your business rules. I want to help you work efficiently so you can have multiple clients at one time, like 5 buyer clients at a minimum at one time. So that way, if one person decides to ghost you, you haven't put all your eggs in that basket and you're okay. You're okay if they ghost you. In fact, I'm going to go over red flags in which you can prevent that from even happening by not working with them from the start. Expectations are everything in this business. If you do not set your own expectations, then your clients will set theirs. Trust me, you don't want that to happen. And I'm not saying this as a power move. I'm saying as a way to work best with them, work best with other clients, and be able to run a profitable business. You have to know what your rules are, where you will flex and where you won't. And I don't know of any situations in which you would flex.
So let's pretend I never said that.
I'm Allie Garced, or Allie the Agent, on all social media. I have closed over 150 homes in my 4 years as a real estate agent. I am the top 1.5% producer in all of eXp Realty, which is 89,000 agents, almost 90,000 agents. And I've hit that multiple times. That's my little trophy that I'm pointing to there, not just pointing for no reason. And I love it. I love what I do. I love that I can be organized, have checklists that I give all the agents that are either in my inner circle and or name me as a sponsor into eXp Realty. I give them all of my resources. And if they want to be part of my inner circle, then we meet one-on-one. And I tell this to all agents, so I'm gonna tell you too, it all starts at the very beginning. If you're already in the middle of a transaction, it's very hard to rewind the clock or set new expectations with clients that are already used to working with you in a certain manner. I think about this similarly to a substitute teacher, when you were in elementary school or middle school and the sub came in and you're like, oh, now the students can run the class. Or at least that's how it was in New York. I don't know, maybe your school was a lot more disciplined with the students, but New York schools were kind of crazy. So whenever a sub came in, that sub got ran over until there was this one sub that came in and laid down the law before they even started teaching. We were like, oh, we can't run over this substitute teacher. By we, I'm saying the other kids that were rowdy.
I was actually a teacher's pet growing up, so I was like,
dang, there's a sub here because I didn't want a sub because I wanted to be the teacher's pet. Doesn't matter. I was a shy A+ student, and now I am still introverted. But I am delaying from the subject. You don't care about what my freaking personality type is. But that's how it is. You have to lay down the law up front. Otherwise, you are bending to someone else's rules. So it all starts at the very, very first conversation, and it actually even starts before that. It starts on how they found you or how you found them. So, which ends up being lead gen. Did you find them at an open house? Or I guess in that case, did they find you at an open house? Did you send out a mailer? Did you cold call them? Did they come from a referral, aka an introduction where somebody mutual that you both respect, ideally, has introduced the both of you? Therefore, you're already at a higher status to them. And open houses, you're not at the highest status. You are at a higher status because you are in an authority figure at that point. But a cold call, at that point, you're a pest. You are bothering them. Most likely, of course, some people just want to chit chat, which is great, but the bar isn't here yet. You have to work your way up to set expectations. You have bothered them, and now you have to continue providing so much support that they end up flipping in their mind, oh, Allie is no longer a bother to me. I now see her as an authority figure, and I will have her help me buy a house the way that she recommends that I do. Her rules. You know what? I'm actually going to share my screen because I have this in what I call my real estate Bible. And so the real estate Bible is something that I created. It's a Google document. Obviously, I'm sharing the screen right now. It's almost 200 pages of everything of what I know about real estate sales. This portion of my real estate Bible is related to Ninja Selling by Larry Kendall. Great book. Highly recommend. There are better books out there, though, that I think are better. And even though this is related to sellers, this is just lead gen in general, okay? So don't think about this as sellers only, because I know that this is for specifically to help buyer agents, but it can help both. For example, if you found a buyer from mailers, the chances of that turning into a client is 1 in 2,000. In other words, you have to send 2,000 mailers to get a client, not a closing, a client, which is not a for sure close. If it's a cold internet lead, 1,600, so this document over here that you can tell is what I give to every single one of my agents, either in my inner circle or those that are in my community at eXp Realty. But I want to focus on the bottom here. Referrals are the closest way to get the highest chance of closing, if that made sense. Because a referral is somebody that you both, ideally, like I said before, trust, know, like, and that's the whole real estate formula. The real estate formula is if someone knows you, likes you, and trusts you, and they are ready, willing, and able to buy, if you have all 6 checked, you will close. So that's why the bottom section here in green is a higher chance of closing. For example, open houses. Typically, even though they likely don't know you, like you, or let alone trust you, you don't have that half of the equation yet. You do most likely have someone that is walking through the door that's ready and willing and or able. They have walk-ins here. That's if you have like a physical office, that's pretty much going away. Over here, this is what I would say is closer to YouTube, which I love. That's how I've gotten 40 closings this year, was majority from YouTube. 89% of it came from YouTube. The other 11% came from introductions, aka referrals, and Instagram and Facebook. I kind of combine them together, Instagram and Facebook. Because of the manner in which I am even starting to meet them, they already have me as a higher authority, because they already have seen my stuff on YouTube. They've seen my YouTube channel, not this one. They've seen the one on how I help buyer clients in Tucson. So they've already seen me. They obviously like me, otherwise they would not have booked the call with me. And they trust me because otherwise they would not have booked a call, let alone they wouldn't have wanted to sit down for 45 minutes with me on a Zoom call to talk about real estate in Tucson. So they know me, like me, and trust me. Now it's up to me to decide with them too, are they ready? Are they willing? And are they able? So for me, it's a lot easier, and I would think it's a lot easier for a lot of agents, to have the first half of the equation already be solved. Check, check, check. Know, like, trust. Where can I find clients that know, like, and trust me? What do I need to do in order to find clients that know, like, and trust me? Therefore, bringing it back to the point, when I lay down the law and tell them how I work, the hours that I have, the days that I have off, the vacations that I need to take, etc., how I operate, will they abide by them? Because then you only need to solve the lender problem, which is, are they ready, willing, and able? This brings me back. Actually, I want to share this portion of my real estate Bible here on page 11, the very, very beginning of this 200 page, a lot of help. This is my favorite book about real estate. It's The Full Fee Agent. And in this book that talks about you're either the favorite or the fool. You're one or the other, never anything in between. If somebody calls you because they found your name on Google or on Yelp or, an ad, anything, ask them how they found you, which you should be doing. I'm sure that you already are. So hopefully that's basic. If they say anything similar to oh, well, I'm shopping agents and your name came on Google, I don't take those calls. I don't care if they're ready to list. I don't care if they're ready to buy. If they are shopping agents, I want them to continue shopping agents. They don't love me yet. They know me. Maybe they like me enough to call me, but they don't trust me yet because they're still shopping around. And it's totally fine. Literally what I say is what I have in the scripts here of this real estate Bible, but something along the lines of, that's great. There are so many good agents in Tucson. If those don't work out, then come back. Because right now I only have the time to work with the buyer clients that already know that they want to work with me and me only because of the services that I provide. So if those agents don't work out for you, let me know and then we can schedule a call. I don't even send them my link. So that is all the beginning before, like the method of how they even found you. And I kind of trickled into a little bit of that first conversation. In that first conversation, say they found you on YouTube, they already know, like, and trust you, most likely if you've put enough long form content out there of your personality, of how you do business, of testimonials of your past clients, especially if they're video testimonials. Like, the more proof you can put out there, the better your client's quality is going to be and the transaction is going to be. Like yesterday, I had a call that somebody booked a buyer call with me. They are PCSing from Japan. A lot of them are coming from Japan recently. Military, of course, active duty, that's what I work. And it was like, we instantly click now, like I opened the call like I always do on my Zoom calls. I'm like, what's up? And the two of them immediately were like, I just spit. That's how excited I am. The two of them immediately were like, hi. They just like followed my lead and I was like, we're going to be besties. So like, Patrick, do you go by any like nicknames or do I call you Patrick or Pat or anything like that? He goes, thanks for asking. No, I don't really have any nicknames. I was like, cool. Patalicious it is. And so now like the Leonard I call him, and it's just like, it's a different tone. Like you can get so much further and there, they already know, like, trust me. In that initial Zoom call, that is when I talk about, you know what, here, I could pull it up. This isn't in my real estate Bible, but in the initial Zoom call, I have here. So this is my Ally the Agent resources that I give to every single agent in my community. We're over 100 agents strong, and those in my inner circle that don't want to switch to EXP, but want to invest in themselves because it is an investment to work with me. 200K playbook, hold on. Checklist. I have buyer checklists, how to work with a buyer from start to end, seller checklist, and outbound referral checklist. Okay, so from the start here, from the very, very start, if this came as a referral, add not only that client, potential soon-to-be client, to your calendar as well as your CRM, but add the agent that referred you. Because there's nothing worse than me sending out a referral to you and me trusting you to get both of us paid. My paycheck is relying on you now. And then you never update me because you forgot. You forgot that the lead came from me, or you forgot to put it in your calendar, or you just, I don't know, like at that point, I'm like, I don't know if I should have given you the lead because I have heard nothing. And it shouldn't be on me to reach out to you to say, hey, have you been helping out my friend Pete close on his house in San Antonio? Like, can you give me some updates? It shouldn't be like that. So take it upon yourself to put it on your calendar every single week, or if they're a year out, then every single month, but every so often, make it a recurring calendar event to update and talk to the client, of course, but also update the referring agent. That is what will get you repeat business every time. Then I also add them to my phone. So the client, if we have not yet met and we don't have a buyer broker agreement signed, they go in as a yellow circle. The yellow circle goes before their name. So in this last case, Patrick, yellow circle, Patrick, buyer, October 2025, Tucson, whatever. And of course, the last name. And if it came from somebody else, then I would put on all capitals at the end, referral from Shelby. So that way I never forget. Because what if they can't buy now? What if they end up buying next year? It was still a referral from Shelby. You bet your ass I'm going to pay whoever it is, even if the referral paperwork has expired. This is my own integrity, and a lot of agents don't do this. Trust me. Like I sent out a lot of referrals, and many agents say, "Oh, well, I passed them on to somebody else, and then I got the referral," or which is so unethical, and it's really short-sighted. So I don't want you to forget on accident and then never again be able to get referrals from that agent. So anyway, back to working with clients. In that initial Zoom call, that is when you lay down the rules. Even before that Zoom call, you say, hey, are there any other buying parties or anybody that even has a tiny say on what type of house or when you buy? Is it your mom? Is it your grandparent? Is it your spouse? Well, obviously your spouse has to be there, especially since Arizona is a community property. Like we have to have all parties on board, but is there your kid? Is it a teenage, kid or adult kid? Can we please have them all in the Zoom call? Because I want to talk to everyone at once. And then we're going to start a group chat So that way everyone is on the same page. That's like number one expectation that I set. Then during the call, I have my calls in 3 ways. Then when we jump on the Zoom, I introduce myself, we're like shooting the shit a little bit, getting to know each other. And I say I take this call in 3 different parts. The first part is going over the questions of what you answered in Calendly. So that way I know exactly what type of house you're looking for. And we're going to narrow down the criteria because my goal is to narrow down the amount of houses to like 5 to 7 homes. So that way we know for sure that's a type of home that you could see yourself making an offer on. The second part of this call is going to be going over the Tucson market right now and kind of what you can expect to pay roughly in closing costs and the process of buying, the inspection period, and title companies versus attorneys, and overall what buyers can expect in today's market. And the third part of this call is going over agency, what our relationship is going to be like, and then the buyer broker agreement and the next steps going forward. So once you sign the buyer broker, what do I do from here and what is your homework? Your homework is going to be talking to a lender or giving me the pre-approval that you already have. My homework is going to be finishing up the search, sending you buyer email number 2, which is everything of what you need, the entire transaction in a whole video series. Again, I give that video series to every single agent that joins me, so that way they can make their own copy. Some agents use my video, which is totally fine, as long as they're in the state of Arizona, because that's what the videos are for. But copy and paste, that's why I give away my resources, because Shelby helped me. That's how I've been able to make I've closed over 150 homes in 4 years and, top producer. So I want to give back to those in my community. Once we are done chatting, I tell them that to be on the lookout for a couple of emails. One is from my CRM, which gives them our updated list of homes. The second one is the next steps of how to work with me. And the third is coming from my TC, who I've already introduced, and it's the buyer broker agreement. Once that is signed, and I get the email saying that it's signed, then I change their name from that yellow circle in the beginning to green, and I pin them to the top of my phone, by the way. So the iPhone, at least, gives you 9 options at this time to pin to the top. So if I already don't have 9 under pending right now, then I'll add them to the top. If there's no room, then I at least just still have them in green. So as I'm scrolling through my messages on my iPhone, green pops out. Green means go. Green means they are an active client. I will finish a call. I'll stop what I'm doing during my work hours to answer their call, to respond back to them, to put them first. If they come in yellow, I don't do that. If they don't want to work with me after I've laid down the law of what my hours are, how we communicate, if they're cool with the process and obviously working with me and only me, because that's what the buyer broker exclusive agency means. If they have any shed of doubt, then I want them to interview around. I don't want anyone to be forced to work with me. If they don't want to, please go ahead and interview other brokers, and I will keep them as yellow. If we meet over Zoom, or if usually it doesn't happen after we meet over Zoom, but if before we meet over Zoom, they seem to have red flags, like they don't want to jump on a Zoom call. They only want to talk on WhatsApp, which is mainly scam. Of course, there are some clients that are actually legit, but if they refuse to jump on a Zoom call, if they need an answer right away, mainly that's it, because the first couple of conversations back and forth is just, hey, let's get on a call, and I work on Zoom. So answer these questions. If they can't answer the questions, if they don't go on the Zoom call, or if they ghost me, which happens extremely rarely, if the buyer client books a call and then doesn't show up, then that's an immediate red flag. I don't even reach out to them. I literally don't even reach out. I don't have the time to, nor even if I had the time, I would not reach out, because they are not worth my time. I work with serious buyers. I only have so much attention, even with automation, even with a full-time executive assistant, even with a transaction coordinator, 3 people on my team, a lot more with video. I respect my time, and I only want to work with the clients that want to work with me, and I want to service them at such a high level that I don't want to be begging or chasing business. So after we finish the hopefully lovely Zoom call, then I do what I say. I have told them what I'm going to be doing. I have told them what I want them to be doing. I literally say, I call it homework. I'm like, okay, your homework now is to send me the prequal, or is to interview lenders and send me a prequal. If you want a couple of lenders to be interviewing, please let me know. I will connect you to 3, 4, whatever of them. Sign the buyer broker exclusive agreement. Let me know if there's something that I didn't cover that you have a question about. I am more than happy to jump on another Zoom call. And after that is signed, that is when I can take the next steps. And that is when I can look into the properties that you're looking at, call the agents, and start representing you. Before that, I cannot do that. So then after the call, I will wait however long it takes for them to sign the buyer broker agreement. Sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 48 hours. And as soon as they do, again, I change the yellow to green on my phone. I either pin them to the top, or if I already have 9 active clients right now that are already in escrow, then I will just change their name to green, and I'm going to send them buyer email number 2, which has the whole video series. I'm going to then check in the next day, and I'm going to say, hey, do you have any questions about the buying process in Tucson, in the state of Arizona? Sometimes, this is where buyer clients differ. Some people are like, hey, I just want you to do all the thinking. Just like lead me through this. I have other shit that I'm dealing with, XYZ. Some people want to know every single detail. I'm good with that. That's why I give every single detail in my email, so nothing is left untouched. And my TC also then sends them another email with very, very similar information, because I would rather over-educate than under. And I have really found that buyers respect systems and sellers respect systems more than the words that you're using, more than scripts. Working with buyers is all about pre-qualifying them. Do you want to work with them? And of course, do they want to work with you? Again, I have that already solved, because they wouldn't book a call with me if they didn't want to work with me. That's why I love YouTube and social media and creating content. But overall, I just do not want you to say yes to everyone. And especially, I don't want you to say yes to working with a client or continue working with a client that is driving you insane. Drop them during that extra time that you're spending on that one, back to the teacher-student thing, metaphor. If you're spending all that time helping this one student, the entire rest of the class, you are ignoring the time that you can spend after you drop that student, let go of that client. You can get 3 times more clients. You can get 3 good clients for the cost and time of doing 1 bad client. So drop them. Stop being afraid to scare off buyers by having your own hours that you work. You just have to communicate that and say it from the beginning. You may have to say it again in the middle of the transaction. Hey, by the way, I am happy to respond. I'm okay to take calls after 7 p.m. I just won't answer them. My phone is on silent because I'm with my family, but I will get back to you the next day by noon. If you're working with clients that are disrespecting your boundaries, where you're flexing on your own rules, you're sacrificing your sanity and your time and your family's time in order to work with red flag clients, there is good news, and then there is more good news. Good news number 1 is it's not your fault. It's not your personality fault. It is a system's fault. And that, good news number 2, is what you can change. And if you want a third piece of good news, I literally give you all of the checklists and the resources to anyone that joins me at eXp Realty and or that wants to be part of my inner circle, private, small group. I definitely don't take everyone. Same reason that's why I don't take all buyer clients or all seller clients. They have to be a specific person that's truly committed to growing their income and investing in themselves. So that's why I only take very, very few. That's how I was able to help Karina make 3 times the amount that she was making after she switched brokerages to join me at eXp. That's how Erin was able to go from having to work buyers when she was at a different brokerage to now being a listing agent and only working luxury and having more time back. She's been able to more than double her commission because she's no longer on a team. That's how Tom was able to make $45,000 in his first 3 months as a real estate agent, 5 closings in 1 month. The prior 2 months was ramping up. As you know, in this industry, it takes 3 months typically to get a closing. That's how Liz Davis in New York City was able to move across the country from Colorado to New York City, brand new area, brand new market, and she was able to leave her full-time job after just 1 year in New York City. Now she works $1 million+ listings. I'm talking like $3 million listings. And with buyer clients, working with investors, she is doing so well. That's how Rachel Oswalt out in Whidbey Island, Washington, got 5 buyer leads, 2 outbound referrals already signed, and 1 listing in her first month. So if you want results like this, you have 2 options. Actually, you have 3. Option number 1 is to name me as your primary sponsor into eXp Realty. That's where you get access to not just my stuff, but all of my upline stuff. And we offer a lot. We offer everything you need to succeed. That's immediate access. Option number 2, if you want to stay in the brokerage you're at, you can still get access to my stuff at a cost. That is my inner circle. You can book a call and learn more about it and really it's an application, but it's a Zoom because I want to make sure that I'm able to help you because I don't take on just everyone. You have to be extremely committed so that you can book a call there in the link below. Option number 3 is if you want this trickle down information and you are not yet ready to commit and you only want free information, you can continue watching this channel. You don't get access to anything. I don't have time to answer one-on-one questions. I no longer take one-on-one calls because I focus everything on my inner circle agents and the agents that join me at eXp Realty. I will say if you are stuck at making $100,000 a year, I can help you make more. Is this an income claim or guarantee? Absolutely not, because I don't know you. But I will say my checklists certainly helped me make 3 times that year over year, and they have helped other agents. So I know it works. They know it works. If you think the price of an inner circle with me is too high, wait until you see the bill of regret. I don't want you to be stuck. I don't want you to be overworked, overwhelmed, working with clients that are running you around town, ruining your sanity. And I'm not trying to rush you or scare you, but this is a decision that every agent had to make. Like what brokerage do I join? What community do I join that will help me make what I want to make because others in there are making it already? That is their daily life. It's a hard decision to make, but every month or year that you don't make that decision, you are costing yourself that amount that you want to be making. For example, if you want to make $250,000 a year and you're not making that every single year that you're not in that community, paying that price is costing you $250K, $250,000. So if you want instant access to this, name me as a primary sponsor. Link is below. You can go ahead and apply. If you do not want to switch brokerages, other link to apply for the inner circle is below. Or if you are okay with where you're at now with your income, perfect, then continue watching the channel. See ya.